Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and I did a little painting yesterday. I didn't get babies dressed, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get them dressed today. It depends what's happening where I live. I am in Northern California, and here in California, we have about 560 fires burning. California's really big, but I happen to live in an area where a couple of those fires are burning. We got an alert yesterday for our county saying that it wasn't telling us we were going to evacuate, but it said basically to prepare for that possibility, mostly because we were supposed to have a storm, another electrical storm early this morning. I got up early and I didn't see or hear it, and it might not be coming, it might have fizzled out, I don't know. We do have a family member whose house is currently burning, and another family member who is on standby for evacuation. Yeah, it's tough stuff. So far we're safe, we're okay. We can smell the fires, we can see the smoke, and we're just hoping that these storms are gentle. And you know, I'm surrounded by foothills that are very grassy and brown this time of year, and we're worried about those going up. I know that on television our current president is saying, that California refuses to rake its forest floors and that's why we're burning, but what has happened in a lot of places is that the lightning has caused grass fires to start, and we have a lot of hills here. It's not possible to mow or to rake those hills, and a lot of that is burning. It's not just forest floors. And every year we have fires, and you can't mow down your forests because you might have a fire. Some of those fires are caused by faulty PG&E equipment, by careless people igniting fires, accidentally tossing a cigarette out, or not keeping an eye on something that they're burning. There's lots of reasons for those fires. Whatever state you live in, you've got your thing. Some people get tornadoes, some people get hurricanes, some people have earthquakes. We have those too. And if you live in those states and you've lived there for a long time, you kind of get used to it. Like when I lived in Washington State, in the Pacific Northwest, it's so beautiful. It's always wet and green and lovely there. If you like wet weather, that's the place to live. If you love beautiful green forests, that's the place to live. However, in the wintertime, we get big storms. And because the soil is so loamy, trees fall. And when they do, they take down power lines, they crash through houses, they block roads. And you would think, well, just get rid of the trees, but you can't get rid of the trees. That's what makes that state so beautiful. And those trees are good for us, They make oxygen. We need trees, we need forests. So every year when you live there, what you do, and this might be the same in a state where you live at, you know the season's coming and you start to prepare. And I don't mean like you go out 2 hours before a storm and start hoarding. It means that you are always prepared. You have a little extra food in your pantry. You have flashlights and batteries. You have smoke detectors that are working. You have firewood, and lots of people have generators. And it doesn't feel like a crisis or, this big looming thing. It's just like, storm season's coming. We need to make sure we have enough of everything because we might be without power for a couple of weeks, and better make sure we have gas for that big power saw so that we can cut that tree into pieces and get it out of the road quickly. Everybody gets to share some firewood. It's that kind of thinking. And I know that, there we get snow and we get a heck of a lot of rain, so nobody even bothers really with umbrellas. It's just rain, and we don't get these rains coming, watch out, you know, bad road conditions. People are just used to driving on wet roads. And here in California, we're used to fires. We have a lot of fire personnel here. This year, however, because it's 2020, I don't know what is up with this magical number, but it feels like, oh, you know, the proverbial shit has hit the fan here. And I know people who live in other states are like, why is this happening? Why don't you just do this and why don't you just do that? Well, it's not that easy, and it isn't negligence as much as it is just a part of where we live. It happens. So California is burning hard this year. We're getting it. And so I am going to pack some go bags. And that just means just in case. And that's usually just, you know, your important documents, like, you know, your birth certificate, your passport, insurance documents, so your prescriptions are filled and that you have them with you on standby. A change of clothes, a couple bottles of water. Make sure your car is full of gas. And if you need to head out the door for a couple of days, you'll be okay. The good thing is I just bought that camper trailer, so I'm actually going to stock it up with what's in my pantry, with just some staples, like, you know, some canned and dried food, and it's already got sleeping bags in there, and it's got water and propane. But I'll just make sure it's nice and clean and ready to go if we need to go, or if we don't need to go, we can offer to somebody that we know that might need to. So that feels good. I'm working on the fairy heads. I didn't intend on spending a super long time on these heads because they were just heads. They were going to be fun, and, you know, I was just going to play and get them done, and they've actually taken a while. I don't think these need as much attention as I'm giving them. But I can't stop. I just can't stop. So here's Miles. I am going to turn him into a baby gnome. And my intention was to give him red hair, but I kind of went down this crazy road. So I think I'm going to give him maybe a darker blonde hair. I think that'll work. And here is Olive. She has some little brown freckles and some light brown hair. Again, I think she's going to be a dark blonde baby. And what she needs right now, before I put her in the oven, and then she'll be done, hopefully, if this works. And excuse all this kind of messy craziness. This is sort of what happens when you're at this stage. Everything starts to pile up right here, and everything's kind of messy. I need to moisten up my hair paint. I left the lid off last night. If this gets too dry, you won't be able to bring it back from the brink. It'll be too crunchy. But if it's still a little bit wet, you can rehydrate. So I am just going to clean up the creases in her neck, tiny bit, and just do some detail work. This is the part where I'm just doing detail work. I'm just going to smooth that out. I don't want to see a line. I just want to see like a little bit of color, a little definition. These makeup brushes are fantastic for reborning. And they're not expensive if you get the cheap ones, but the problem is they break down faster than a real paintbrush. They don't last as long. They're not intended to get this much action. There she is. I think that's good. Here is the mermaid baby. Over. Blush anything that looks like it needs blushing. I have pink inside these green ears. I really like the effect. So there is the mermaid, ready to go. Who else is over here? I just finished up Natalie. She has no hair. She needs to get her hair painted. And then my albino baby. Here he is. Isn't he awesome? Now you might think he looks a little scary because he's so darn pale, but I really like the way he turned out. And I think after he's varnished, he's going to be excellent. I didn't use a lot of golds and browns. I used a lot of pinks, lavenders, blues, white, and got him done. So he's going to have hair on top of that painted hair. So Maggie got horns. I have to pop her in the oven and get those baked. I just have to tidy up her nose a little bit. I like the way she turned out. I had a lot of fun. So here is Miss Maggie. She is done. I think I just need to clean up her ears a little bit back there, but she's done. I added little horns. They're not on there the way they're going to be yet. They're just on their pegs. And this is just some Sculpey. These horns do fit better, but not until I glue them in. I'm gonna use some E6000 to glue them. There's like an anchor on the inside, so what'll happen is she's completely baked. I'll put the E6000 on the inside and I'll put the E6000 on the outside. I won't do that until she's done baking because E6000 tends to get sticky and melty when it's heated up, and it's stinky and probably not good for you. So these will get glued on at the very end. Just want to tidy up in there a bit. That looks better. It's just a little bit of pink. Well, my little guy got up, and so we had outside breakfast. It's kind of a favorite thing to do. Just right outside of this room, I have an old patio table with some old wooden chairs. That side of the yard doesn't get any sun in the morning, so it stays really cool. It's not the prettiest place to sit, but it's nice. And I bring an extension cord and a griddle out there. We just make pancakes or something like that. He loves it, so that's what we did, and now that's done. I'm really excited about this guy with the horns. I don't know why, I just think it's really, really cool. And I'm gonna pop those on super quick. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. I think I'm gonna flesh out this bottom a little bit more so that it matches his head a little bit. Do a little bit more white on top. I think it's gonna be great. Oh my goodness, I am just not sure what to do with her hair. I think I really wanna do it white, but I don't know if I wanna paint white hair on her. I wonder if it would look too weird if I just did a tuft of white hair here with no other hair. I think I might want to do that. So if I do that, I think I'm gonna just, what to do.